Hey everybody, this is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to Crunching the Numbers with two-time Emmy Award winner Mark Everett Kelly. Mark had a so-so week in week one.
Oh, come on. Went 11 and
So
2.
so week in week one, of course. But I can't complain because my Buffalo Bills came back from the world's greatest game, from the jaws of defeat. Josh Allen proved why he's the MVP and proved that Baltimore can't say this, but Buffalo's still en route to a perfect season. Enough said. We're going to start off with the Buffalo Bills. And by the way, Mark, who's your favorite team in the National Football League?
You know who they are.
Yes.
New York Jets.
Yes, you're happy you admit that? Buffalo Bills.
I've admitted it since I was a little kid. Yes, it's a hard thing to admit, but, there are a lot harder things that I've had to cop to.
Buffalo Bills in Meadowlands to take on the Jets. The Bills favor by 6.5. The Jets looked impressive till the last minute of the game with Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers doing it 34-32 in week one. What do you expect from week two, Buffalo and the Jets?
Do you know how many times I've seen that game? I knew what was going to happen after they failed the 2-point conversion in the first half.
Right.
That game they've played that game at least once every year. And
it happened to be the first game of the year.
Yeah, I could give you first games of the year that were exactly like that. New England, 1989, Cincinnati, 1990, 1993 versus Denver, so many similar games. But if to score 32 points against the Steelers and lose, and really execute as well as they did offensively, and then a guy hits a 60-yarder like he's falling out of bed, it's just very hard to take. I normally don't get angry anymore after games because you learn this isn't the life or death. But I was pretty annoyed at the end of this game that they lost, and now they get the Bills in week two, and the Bills are coming off a great win and at home. So if the Jets are 0-2 at home, it's not the greatest thing. They've lost 3 straight to the Bills. Last time they won was that Monday night game. On September 11, 2023, when Aaron Rodgers got hurt. So they kind of made that game miserable. But I think they're not in Buffalo's class, and you know that. So even if they win, it'll be nice. But when they go to Buffalo, they'll probably lose.
You know what? You know who I'm picking in this game. But 6.5 points coming back after, Buffalo was down all the time. I know it's not even a touchdown game, but Buffalo traditionally plays down to their opponents. They give the Jets chances after chances. Even when they win a touchdown, 4-point game and all that. Just be leery of that 6.5. If you get them at 7 points, I'll go against Buffalo for the spread. Buffalo will win the game, but just be leery of that point spread because something coming off a miracle win could have a downer, and Buffalo plays, against the Dolphins on Thursday in Buffalo. So this could be, a sandwich game there. So that's all I'm saying there. Now, the Rams into Tennessee. The Rams are favored by 5.5. The Rams won last week 14-9. Very defensive game there. Tennessee, well, the number one quarterback, Cam Ward, really, what did he throw? 112 yards. If he throws 112 yards, the Rams win by 20. What do you say?
I think, as a rookie, what's expected of you has changed in the NFL with the success last year of guys like Daniels and Bo Nix. So, if you look at what Ward did in Tennessee, they're probably not one of the better teams in a very weak division. So who knows if they're going to have a chance to win. And against Denver on the road, they're not supposed to win that game. But the Rams, Stafford played well. They're capable of putting up more points than the Titans are because they have better offense. And Ward completed only 42% of his passes. When you go 12 for 28, it's not very good. So that's what I expect more from him as the season goes on. And probably by mid-season, he might be where we can evaluate him a little better. But until then, I think their offense is going to struggle, and teams like the Rams will win easy.
All right, the next game, 1 o'clock, and this is a not bad game. Seattle into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh favored by 2.5 points. Seattle waited till the end to blow the game with the San Fran, and we'll touch on San Fran later on. 17-13. Pittsburgh, as we mentioned a couple seconds ago, beating the Jets. 2.5 points. Pittsburgh's first game. Aaron Rodgers' first game threw 4 touchdowns. I think Pittsburgh wins easier than they did last week.
Yeah, well, I think Sam Darnold, when you saw him last year, you wondered, is he going to stay like this? Is he going to be as good as he was last year? And even though he was good, it wasn't, the Vikings won a lot of close games. And then you saw at the end that they weren't up to par against the Lions or the better teams, the Redskins, the better teams in the NFC. So I don't. If you're looking at the Darnold's play as any kind of indication, the games that they lost against the Niners where they're unable to put the opponent away, I think they're going to have a lot of those games this year. The Seahawks are a little different than they were under Carroll, and I think they're going to struggle all year with that. So and the Steelers, I think 16 guys in their 40s have thrown 4 touchdowns in a game. And Aaron Rodgers is one of them. And he only did it once with the Jets. And now he did it in his first game with Pittsburgh. So he looked great last week. And Pittsburgh, if he plays well, the Steelers are going to be hard to beat.
Chicago and Detroit. Detroit 6.5. And these guys, whoever loses, with all the expectations these guys have, they're both going to be 0-2. Detroit losing to Green Bay, and Chicago losing a heartbreaker, even though they came close. But so with all this Ben Johnson and everything like that, and Ben Johnson coming from Detroit and into Chicago, I know he would want to win. But if Chicago starts 0-2, I could smell big time problems.
Yeah. I mean,
for that matter, if Detroit starts 0-2, big time problems too.
I know. And, Detroit starting 0-2 used to be commonplace. But, last week they lost to one of the better teams in the league on the road. Remember last year, I think they beat Kansas City in the first game.
Yeah.
A big difference between year to year. But they'll be – I assume they're going to be up and down all year. Their offense is going to eventually put up points. And I think in the home opener, you're looking at a win for Detroit over Chicago. I just think that Caleb Williams just isn't there yet. Like Ward, he's got to bring up his percentage a little bit and feel like he's more capable toward the end of the game of leading the team on a game-winning drive.
All right, another division game. The New York Giants travel to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. The Cowboys favored by 5.5, and both teams could be 0-2. And not a lot of people expect anything from the Giants, but some people still expect. I know Jerry Jones does. Still expect something from Dallas. Do you think Dallas wins in a runaway?
I think Dallas. You look at last week when they started off, scored 2 touchdowns in their first 2 possessions. And then they kicked field goals. They didn't punt until the second half. Yeah. So they looked pretty good in offense in the first half, and then they just couldn't execute and get any points after that. And that would have concerned me more because, obviously Philadelphia made some adjustments where maybe more teams won't. The other teams won't do that. But see, this is a game Dallas would lose. Where everyone thinks, okay, they played great against the Eagles, and then in years past, they'll lose a game like this. So I'm a little worried about that. I think they're obviously better than the Giants, but they have the ability to fall into an abyss, and that's what they got to watch out for.
All right, Cleveland and the Baltimore Ravens. Cleveland underdog by 11.5. I don't have to tell you, Baltimore blowing a 15-point lead with 5 minutes left. Now, this couldn't, because Cleveland lost to
Yeah.
Cincinnati, but they really played good. Their defense stepped up, even though they gave up some points and all that. This is technically a rivalry game, division game, and all that. 11 and a half.
Mhm.
I think Baltimore should win, but I don't know if they cover 11 and a half.
Now, Cleveland's defense is legit. They only allowed 141 total yards last week. So
And they were playing Joe Burrow, so
exactly,
equivalent to Lamar.
exactly. But the Ravens are also going to be a little pissed off.
Yeah.
How they lost that game with you had Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico saying, like, I just don't think that the Bills can stop them. And they couldn't, but they still lost. And when you look at what John Harbaugh has done with that program, he's quite – Harbaugh, he doesn't get the recognition of a guy like Belichick, obviously, because he hasn't won as many Super Bowls. But what he did to that franchise and when he came in, this guy's been one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. They've been consistently good for a long time. Derrick Henry, 169 yards. He's 31 years of age. Most people didn't expect that kind of production from him. And we'll see if he can continue to put it up.
All right, so you got the Ravens in that one. San Fran.
No,
and
11 and a half, I don't. I think
that's what I said.
Yeah, it'll be like a 7-point game. But, I think they'll win. But that's for the Browns. The Browns' defense is the reason why they're going to not win by more because their defense is that good.
Okay, San Fran into New Orleans. San Fran favored by 2.5, but I think this line could change because Brock Purdy's done. He's probably not going to play. The Kittle probably not going to play. Even though New Orleans lost the opening game to Arizona, they were in it to the last second, and they're playing in New Orleans. I have a sneaky feeling New Orleans comes up to bite San Fran, and I like San Fran, but based on all the injuries after week 1, I just have a sneaky feeling that, in NFL, there's a bunch of upsets, and there wasn't really that much upsets in week 1. I think there's going to be a couple upsets in week 2.
Yeah, so, the Niners have been dealt with injuries the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And they've listed him as a long shot to play on Sunday, thanks to a toe injury. But he's been you don't want to have him be like Tua. Where Tua, from week to week, the guy plays great and he's a difference maker, but is he going to let, a minor injury because he has a history of injuries, turn into something more? And, in today's NFL, with concussions and everything, and you got to be so careful with some of these quarterbacks, and so they're more, they take precautions more than they used to. But San Francisco, they need their roster, a complete roster to, compete in the NFC West, which I think belongs to the Rams. And this is a game they should win, depending on how many people are going to play and how many people are going to be on the injury list. We'll know that at game time. If they have a good amount of their starters, I think they're going to win most of their games, including this one.
All right. New England, Miami favored by 1.5.
Boy, that was the worst performance of all the teams last week. Miami.
Yeah, 33-8.
Yeah. To Daniel Jones, for crying out loud.
Well, and New England losing to Raiders also at home. So it wasn't a great week for both teams.
No, but that didn't surprise me. Like the Dolphins just laying an egg. And they didn't look good at all on offense. So I don't know how good New England's going to be. Everyone has the post-Belichick syndrome where they still have that aura. They don't. The Patriots do not have that aura anymore. So people got to get used to that. And I think if Miami wants to be in contention at all, I've seen teams play god-awful in week 1 and turn their season around. Miami's got to have a serious look at themselves. And I think New England is a good opponent for them to do that against.
Well, Miami, I'm going to say this right now. Miami better win this game because they play the Thursday night game in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So they can be 0-3, put it that way.
Yeah.
Jacksonville and the Bengals. Bengals only favored by 3.5.
Mm. Jacksonville was lucky to win last week. I think they had that big delay. They kind of
Yeah.
threw that whole game off. And I think, uh, the Jaguars are still in that could be category. You don't know what Trevor Lawrence, everybody keeps waiting for him to be what they thought he was going to be. And he's just way too inconsistent, even still. So, um, who they're playing who again?
Jacksonville and Bengals. So
The Bengals, right? Oh, okay, so the Bengals. So the Bengals last week, like you said, they went against one of the better defenses, and Burrow. They've historically struggled against the Browns.
and let's face it, the Browns should have won that game.
Well, yeah, I mean they turned the ball over late in the game where they could have had a game-winning drive.
Yeah.
And won that game. When you have the ball, like the Jets, when you have the ball with under a minute left and you're down by one, you're expected to go and kick a game-winning field goal, and they didn't. Burrow was 14 for 23, which 60% for him. That's pretty bad. I mean, we're talking about a guy last year was over 70% for the year. So, but again, that's Cleveland's defense. I think he'll play really well this week, and look for him to have 3 touchdowns, over 250 yards, and for the Bengals to win by at least 20.
By at least 20. All right. 4:05 games. Carolina, Arizona. Arizona favored by 6.5. This game shouldn't even be talked about. Give me 2 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, Arizona lost to New Orleans, and Carolina lost to the Jaguars. That's all I got to say. But I think Carolina. I think the Cardinals are better.
All right. The next game, and this could be a doozy. Denver, Indianapolis, 4:05.
Yeah.
Indy underdog, even though they're playing at home by 1.5. Denver, of course, smashing Tennessee. Indy doing a number on Miami and playing at home. Once again, they open the year at home. They're playing the second week at home.
Yeah.
This is a bigger test. Denver could be 2-0, but so
Anyway,
can Indianapolis.
yeah, well, I think Denver should be 2-0 because they're at home, and we still don't. I mean, they're in Indy,
Yeah.
but we still don't know how good Indy is yet, and we still can't put Daniel Jones in that category of, well, this is what we're getting, a consistent, solid quarterback. He is what he was with the Giants, which he's good enough to beat some teams, but not good enough to beat the elite teams.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll be good enough to beat the Broncos, who struggled for a little bit against Tennessee until it came time to the fourth quarter when they needed to make plays, and 20-12 against a Titan team that had struggled like a quarterback. Ward, we mentioned, only completed like 40-some% of his passes, and then Bo Nix 25-40, but he threw 2 picks, and last year he only threw 9 for the whole year. So, but again, Tennessee's defense is pretty good. I think he'll be better. And I think Denver, this is one of those games where they'll come out and they'll start to show who they are. Indianapolis, from week 1 to week 2, I think people will see, wait a minute, this isn't the team they were in week 1. They're going to have a pretty big step back, and Denver is going to give them a slap of reality.
All right, arguably, this is the best matchup of the week, a Super Bowl 59 rematch. The Philadelphia Eagles go into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Philadelphia 1.5-point favorites. First of all, I don't remember when the Chiefs were underdog at home. And secondly, if Philadelphia beats the Chiefs are 0-2.
Yeah, I know. And the Eagles looked good in week 1. They had a little back.
They look good, but people expected them to win more than 4 points.
No, but I think they made the adjustments at halftime, and then Dallas couldn't do anything in the second half.
Yeah.
That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to win close games, and they're supposed to make big plays when needed, and they did. First 2 drives, they looked like they were lost, but they made the adjustments that winning teams do. And, I mean, how many coaches do you see that really are good at that? Philadelphia is.
Yeah. All right, so who are you calling in this one?
Well, I think the Chiefs will win because I can't see them starting 0-2. Philly is more capable of recovering from 0-2. being that they're in a bad division. I don't think that that if Kansas City started 0-2, there's too many teams that are ready to pounce on them.
I agree. I think Kansas City will win, but selfishly, as a Buffalo Bills fan, Kansas City starts 0-2, and we start 2-0, and then Thursday we could be 3-0 before they take the field at 0-2. So all I'm saying is, selfishly as a Bills fan. Now Sunday nighter, 8:20 p.m. Atlanta Falcons, Minnesota Vikings, 3.5 point favorite. The Vikings, by the way, Storm and Norman will preview Monday night's two football matches. Monday night this week has two football. He previewed Thursday and Monday. It's Norm, and Sundays is Mark. So who do you got? Atlanta, Minnesota.
Uh, Minnesota wound up winning the Monday night game against the Bears, and they got way too many weapons on offense. And
JJ McCarthy played a really good second half there.
he did.
You really, he first half he struggled, but second half you could see why he was a great quarterback.
Yeah, he was 13 for 20 in the game, and I think against the Bears, we got a pretty good defense in Chicago. That was a big win for him. That's a great first game where you want to know how the guys are going to perform. Your quarterbacks are going to perform on the road, and you're going to want to know how they perform in the fourth quarter, scoring 21 fourth quarter points. 2 touchdowns, one to Jefferson, the other to Jones, and then running for a touchdown. Turn a 17-6 deficit into a 27-24 win. I don't think you can do better in your first start on the road. So if that's what is in store for Minnesota, they're going to have a pretty good year.
He's the new man on the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, and remember, he had that year to watch, and that's a big difference for these quarterbacks.
Exactly. All right. So, Mark, tell everybody about your sponsors and tell everybody how they can reach you on social media. Mark will be back here. Maybe I'll try to get Mark and Storm and Norman together, but I digress. Tell everybody about your sponsors and all your shows and everything.
So my sponsors are the Cattle Stampede here, which is where I do the show, and they have a great buffet for everybody, and their prices are absolutely fantastic. If you go on Facebook under my name, Mark Everett Kelly, you get to see the prices that they have, the menu that they put out, and if you mention my name, you get a percentage off your meal. A little throw in, but Miles really takes care of the people around here of the community, and everything he makes is really good. And then we have Bobby Ledbetter's Twin City Auto Sales. Now, most car salesmen are just guys who have to reach a quota and all, but Bobby's totally different. Bobby's got a great heart, and he really cares about his customers, and the people in the community are so important to him, and he helps everybody out. He's an amazing guy. Both of these guys, it's an honor to have them as sponsors, but we need more. We need more sponsors. So hopefully, like segments like we just did, we'll get them. Local businesses, really, we want to help the mom and pop local businesses to really do well.
And so that's great. And like Mark says, that restaurant is really good, and the community there where Mark is. It's very good. It's not unlike New York. Put it that way. Mark's known for New York. Unlike New York, they're the farthest thing from New York, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the farthest thing from New York. But
yeah,
well, Mark, thanks a lot for your time. Hopefully, you have nothing but winners. And Mark, since we're playing the Jets, do you want to make a side bet there?
Side bet would. Well, I'm crazy, but I'm not stupid.
If Buffalo, no, yeah, you are. Well, that's debatable. But if Buffalo wins, I get a free burger from the place where you're at now. If the Jets win, I get a free burger from the place you're at now. Okay. And if it's a tie, Roger Goodell gives me an autographed Buffalo Bills jersey.
I like that.
And by the way, so to throw in for you, I'm sweeping it with it. John Tavares, New York Islanders jersey.
No, 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 no.
All
How
right.
about
No, no,
when,
you cannot say no when somebody gives you a present. You
no,
cannot say
yeah,
no.
John Tavares? I could. Well, why don't you connect me with some of the Miss America pageant?
No, that's all for me. That's all for me. Okay.
Yeah, I
That's all
would
for
rather that. I would rather have a date with one of them.
Okay, so I'll get you one of those football players. I'll get you
Mhm.
a date with one of those football players, especially the center who's used to you
Yeah.
doing stuff. All
Okay.
right, so put it that
Yeah.
way. All right, all
Yeah.
right. Mark, tell everybody how they reach you on social media as we close it out.
So, Emmy, Mark Everett Kelly, I have Facebook. You can find me on TikTok. We're going to be building on X and on some other platforms like Rumble. We haven't gotten there yet. And we're working on a website, really trying to take care of the community here in DeKalb County, Alabama, where you have 8 county schools and 1 city school. And the communities are really great people, and they love their sports, they love their kids, and I love to tell the stories associated with these athletes.
And we love to tell the stories. And Mark's a very, very big pickup for Fired Up Network Emmy Award winner. And maybe next time, next week or the week following, you'll have the Emmy Awards and we'll show the world, because I'm proud
Yeah.
of you. Show the world that you're an Emmy Award winner, and ESPN lost lost a good man there. Put it that way. All right.
They lost a lot of good people, but yeah, thank you.
I'm only speaking about you.
All
All
right.
right.
Thanks,
And
Joe.
and Chris Berman too, who loves the Buffalo Bills. All right, thanks a lot, Mark.
Bye bye.